welcome to Long Days, Big Love. This is Audrey Mackie, and I am here with my friend, Amy Fleming. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm still not quite sure why you did. I don't think I have much to
why
offer,
not?
but
Because you do all the things, just like so many of us moms do. I think showing up really changes everything. You have motherhood, you have service, you have just building a community, and it's very admirable, but it's something that I think so many are doing. And to be able to kind of talk about that, what happens when one mom decides she's not waiting for somebody else to make a change, she's going to do it herself. And I think that's exactly what you did, for sure.
Thank you.
I just want to introduce you and kind of how we met. I think we met in T-ball days.
yeah, you're
Really,
right.
if we go far back.
I was thinking it was the PTO, but it's not. It was T-ball.
It was T-ball.
Oh my gosh, Graham must have been like 4.
I know, little guys. They were little guys, and Pat was coaching, and then we laughed because we had some mutual friends through the Sursasabos, and we're just kind of talking, and then I think I had mentioned PTO. I was like, you should totally volunteer.
Were you president at that time?
I don't think
you
I
were
was
just
president
involved.
yet,
You were
but I think
secretary.
I was on the board, and I was doing all of the things, and I was volunteering and all of that other kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
I
were
think
like,
you probably did get me into the PTO. Totally forgot about
I think I knew even from that moment, you were very, you wanted to always give back. You gave me that vibe. You like to get involved. You like to make a difference. And I could tell that instantly from you. You're a giver for sure. Why don't you tell us, a little bit about, how involved you are, what you're involved in. Tell us about kind of your different endeavors that you're doing outside of just being a mother too.
Yeah. So that's true. I feel like giving back has sort of always been ingrained in me, probably from my parents. I am a nurse practitioner by trade. Mm-hmm. So I, for my whole career, took care of kids with cancer as pediatric oncology.
Giver.
I mean, I sort of,
you have to be a special person to do stuff like that, for sure. I say that all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, being a nurse was a huge part of my life. And when my son, who is now 10, which is crazy. Oh gosh, it really does. When he was 6 months old, we moved to Pittsburgh from Chicago. And what I thought was going to be a, 6-month hiatus, give myself a couple of months to get established here, turned into, 10 years. I still haven't gone back to work.
Established.
Yes. But that's been such a big part of my life. So like you said, I always have been super involved in my community. So I think going back to early mom days, I joined a mom's club right when I moved here because I didn't know anyone.
Sure.
And it was
build your community up. Fresh off, here you are.
And I'm very social. So for me to move to a place where I didn't know anyone, I think I had one friend in Swickley, was, a scary thing for me. So I right away wanted to jump in and just make friends that way. And so I got involved in Mom's Club. It's harder when your kids are younger, I think, to get really involved because there's just not that much that they're involved in. So it's a lot of, I think as they get older, I found that there's way more opportunities than I want to be involved. It's like when somebody finds out that you say yes, you're asked for everything.
You're asked for everything.
As you know more than anyone else.
Oh, you'll totally do that. Great fit for them.
Yeah. So, but in the early days, there wasn't that much going on. But I think you, like you said, brought me to the PTO. So I became really involved in that. Prior to that, I was involved in fundraising for the preschool and everything. And then I think through the Moms Club, I was doing community service stuff. I was kind of involved in I think I was doing social stuff or I forget exactly what my roles were, but always finding something beyond just, the day-to-day mom life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you being as highly involved as you are and everything along those lines, and you did a lot of work with Make-A-Wish originally, and you were Michael's wish maker actually too, which was a joy.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish. I love Make-A-Wish. When I did move here, I did jump right into Make-A-Wish because I wasn't working as a nurse practitioner, but pediatric oncology specifically has always been a really big part of my life.
Yeah.
So instead of being on the medical side, I joined the wish granter side.
Yeah.
And so I have the privilege of granting wishes. It was so much fun.
It's such
I
an
forgot
amazing
about Michael's wish, but
what a great experience. And I think too, that kind of opens as well. Talk about 412 Gives Back.
Yeah. So
that, and I mean, what an amazing experience.
So 412 Gives Back was not planned by any means. We started it just over 3 years ago. And my partner, Billy Higgins, and myself we met through the Moms Club that I had mentioned. Mm-hmm. We always seemed to be the people within our friend group that would plan stuff and, oh, let's go to this event. Let's get the bus. Let's do the, whatever. So it was like November of 2022, I guess, that the two of us got a group together to attend a gala. Mm-hmm. And we ended up having 60 people go. Just, friends and friends and friends. We had some buses go and stuff like that. And it was great. It was fun. And afterwards, she was like, I feel like we could plan something like this. Yeah. Let's do a holiday party for our friends next year. Her husband's the GM at Bucks Chapel. Okay. So we're like, oh, that would be great. And then, my background being involved in philanthropy, specifically Make-A-Wish, because I was really involved at that time. Yeah. I was like, why don't we charge a little bit more and then, make a donation through this event to Make-A-Wish? And then that just snowballed. Yeah. So I think our original goal was like was a couple $100. Mm-hmm. And then when we got involved with Make-A-Wish, we learned it was their 40th anniversary. So we're like, oh, how cool would that be to raise $40,000? Yeah. And then, I think our first year we raised $90,000, which for year one, not even planning to have a gala, we were very happy with ourselves.
Unbelievable.
And then from there, it just continued to grow and grow.
Yeah. You guys have taken it to such a level. And I mean, I just don't think that you give yourselves enough credit as a group of mothers who just can get it done and do it well. And I've been to a couple events. I haven't had the pleasure of coming to a gala, but I mean, even these little events that you do and your lemonade stands.
I do love the lemonade stand.
So many people. I mean, I can't tell you, all summer I'm driving somewhere and I see these kids slinging lemonade for 412 Gives Back to give to the organization that you guys are working with. And it's so heartwarming.
Yeah. The lemonade stands probably, the gala is amazing, but that's probably my favorite campaign that we do. Again, that started super small. Like one of the girls on our committee was like, let's have a lemonade stand, get our kids involved. Yeah. And that snowballed. Last year, I think we had, I want to say 27 stands around all of Pittsburgh, and we made over $18,000 from lemonade. And that's my favorite because my kids see, this has turned into full-time work for us. Like we are putting in full-time hours, although it's not a paid position, which, we get paid in other ways.
Yes, exactly.
We don't need that. But, they do see, I am pulled away a lot from my family because of this. Yeah. And so I love the lemonade stand because they're part of it. Yeah. And it's just teaching our kids, especially this year, because our beneficiary is the Children's Home of Pittsburgh. So it's kids right in our community. Mm-hmm. So it's really, truly kids giving back to kids.
Absolutely.
So we have big goals. This year, our goal is $25,000.
That's amazing. And there is no doubt in my mind that you guys will reach that goal because there are so many compassionate people. And I think you get a messaging system of kids these days and they're in their phones and they don't care. I completely disagree with that concept. I reject it because there are so many compassionate young children, older children, young adults in our community. And I see that on the Michael Mackie Project side too, with our events that we do and the young adults that want to get involved and volunteer and be side by side and help with coaching and help with events and do stuff. These kids are compassionate. They're learning so much and they want to do it. That's the best thing about this. Yeah. So many people last year at the end of the football event were like, Ms. Mackie, are we doing this again next year? I'm like, you betcha, buddy. Like,
I cannot agree more. We have high school volunteers for our gala and, the Stock the Cellar event. And a lot of them are doing it for NHS or community service hours, but then a lot of them are doing it for nothing. Yeah. I'm like, oh, send me your form. I'll fill it out. And they're like, oh, wait, I don't even need hours. Yeah. I'm like, you're just here volunteering.
Want to do it.
I completely agree. Our community, in a whole, is so unbelievably generous. Pittsburgh is so generous.
Pittsburgh is very generous.
I'm blown away year after year with the vendors that show up. Mm-hmm. And, right now we're knee deep in auction solicitation and sponsor solicitation. And the things we're getting donated to the auction, and we have a live auction this year, incredible.
That's amazing.
And it's this community.
I'm so excited for you. And I mean, it is such a wonderful thing. And the communities that you're impacted, we touched a little bit about Make-A-Wish, and obviously we have a personal connection with Make-A-Wish, and it's really such a wonderful organization. And I never thought that we would ever be that, because there is like a misconception, I think, with Make-A-Wish. It's always been like if a child is on a terminal path or something like that, and that's not necessarily the case. And we discussed like maybe what would be best for Michael, and we're not necessarily like a trip family or things like that. And you were like, well, I think they just came back with pools if he loves water so much. And I mean, what a life-changing thing for our family, because it is the one space that all 4 kids can just be on the same level.
It's
and
amazing.
Enjoy their childhood and swim and have fun. And we got that now because of Make-A-Wish. And we're incredibly grateful to that organization and folks like you that support it. And it's it has such an impact on families.
Yeah, it really does. And part of our mission at 412 Gives Back is to not only raise money for these organizations, but to promote awareness about them. Yeah. And you're so right about Make-A-Wish. I think a lot of families, well, one, they don't want to be referred because the misconception of, wait, my child is, not dying. Right. And that's not it at all. And thinking outside the box that it's beyond the Disney trip. Yes, there's lots of Disney trips.
Sure.
But it doesn't have to be. Or from a financial standpoint, I've had families say, oh no, we don't need it. Give it to someone who needs it. And it's like, no, your kid has been through so much. Your family has been through so much. Everybody deserves this. And it's not, they're thankfully, thanks to the generous donors, are well funded, and they have the means to provide these experiences for the families.
Which is amazing. And there was another organization that was a beneficiary prior to this year. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that organization?
Yeah. So One Day to Remember is incredible. We had Make-A-Wish the first 2 years. Year 1, we didn't really count because we were, learning. They were teaching us so much. So we wanted to give them one more year. So our whole idea is that we choose a new local Pittsburgh organization. They have to be local to Pittsburgh, and the money has to stay in Pittsburgh. And we have a new theme for the year because that's just fun and it gets people excited. So we did Make-A-Wish for 2 years. Last year was One Day to Remember, and it was started by an adult oncology nurse named Rachel Anton, who worked at one of the hospitals downtown. And she found it's similar to Make-A-Wish, but it's the parent who has terminal cancer. So I shouldn't say terminal, advanced stage cancer. So stage 3 or 4.
Okay.
And so they provide these families an outing, smaller scale, smaller budget than Make-A-Wish, but a really impactful day. Yeah. The day looks different for each family depending on, the parent's ability to get around or to travel. But it can be as simple as a day at the zoo. Yeah. And they provide a photographer to document the whole day. And then they have a memory book that they provide. Everything's paid for. It's just the day where the family can be together as a family, forget about cancer, forget about medical care costs, all that stuff. And we had an incredible speaker at our gala last year, Lori and Mike had terminal cancer. Yeah. And he gave the most amazing speech at the gala and was so brave and, took off his oxygen and walked up there, got a standing ovation. Yeah. And he sadly passed away. I think it was 10 days after the gala. Oh my goodness. So it was such a gift for us to, for us to have the privilege of hearing him. Yes. And hearing that perspective. And it was so moving. There was literally not a dry eye.
I'm sure. Absolutely. And just talk about impact. Like these organizations, they're affecting your direct community. Like these are your neighbors. These are people that live right here. And I think, my photographer self is like, what a great thing to provide those, because that's what they have to hold on to.
Oh my gosh.
Especially now that he has since passed on, they will always have that.
Yeah.
To be able to look back and have those moments. And of course you hold them in your heart, but to have those visual things to just really cling to after those moments is just a beautiful thing. And what a wonderful organization they are for doing that.
It's truly amazing. What really resonated with that is, most of so you have to have a young child, less than 18. So they are just like us. Yeah. They have these kids who are school age kids, just putting yourself in their shoes. Yeah. and knowing that, you know, you're not going to make it for your child's graduation, wedding, whatever it is. So I think that really hit home to, you know, our age demographic.
You can relate
completely.
Your demographic of people that are supporting your organization, that are supporting 412 Gives Back, can be in those people's shoes. Like
1000%.
This could happen to anybody here, and or hopefully it doesn't, but you know, you see what you're going through with your kids, and just to be able to let them have something that they can tangibly hold on to for the rest of their lives when that person may or may not be gone is just what a wonderful thing to give them.
Yeah, they're awesome. It's always sad after the year ends. I mean, we're so, you know, we've gotten close to the founder and everything, and, you know, fundraising for them all year, and then we switched. We're like, we were so sad when the gala was over. We're like, okay, we'll stay in touch. But
it's like, what a culmination. But now you have an exciting new organization.
We do,
So the Children's Home of Pittsburgh is a wonderful place, and I am very lucky to have known, you know, two different women that are there, Stacy Schessler and Taylor. I know them through football. They play their kids play football with my kids.
That's awesome.
When I started the Michael Mackie Project, and I was, you know, doing stuff, and we'll kind of get into that too, but meeting them, and we did a fidget drive, and they were one of the drop points for us. So I got to go down.
Oh, how cool. I never knew that.
Yeah. And meet with them, and we dropped off fidgets for their day program. And Michael and I got to tour, and we got to go around and see everything. And what a wonderful place it is. And
it really is.
With Michael, so prior to, we have a little bit of a kind of connection, because prior to, Children's Hospital used to have their rehabilitation unit down there where the children's home is.
Okay.
And they have since moved that in-house. But a lot of families, when you're getting rehabbed in hospital, and when Michael had his brain surgery, he was in Children's for about a month and doing rehab and stuff there. But there are kids that require more care, especially if they're more medically complex children that maybe have a feeding tube or breathing or whatever that looks like. That, okay, yes, you're stable and you can leave, but now what? And we were very lucky that Michael rehabbed very well, and everything went great for us, and we didn't have to use a place like that.
Yeah.
But there are so many families that we've encountered through different organizations that I'm with, and different families and special needs families, that what an amazing, amazing place.
It truly is. I've had the opportunity to tour there twice now. Once when we were deciding which beneficiary we were going to choose, and then last week or 2 weeks ago, we brought our team down there so they could see it as well. And I really believe every single city needs that.
Yeah.
Just thinking back to when I was an inpatient nurse in Chicago, there were so many kids who were completely ready to go home, but they couldn't because they didn't have either nursing. There's a shortage of home health nurses.
Absolutely.
They didn't have nursing care. They didn't have the family support to care for, say, a central line or a feeding tube or a ventilator or a trach, whatever it may be. And so they would just live at the hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks and months. And like the amount of money that costs to have a place where your whole family, I mean, siblings can stay in the room with them.
Right.
It's truly incredible. And the teaching they provide. And I recently, at Stock the Cellar, Stacy spoke. You heard it too. And the quote that I keep thinking about is that no family leaves with a bill.
Yeah.
Incredible. They bill insurance. Yeah. Or if you don't have insurance, they cover it. And whatever is not covered by insurance, there are no co-payments or deductibles or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, for a medically complex child, that is truly incredible. And then the Child's Way is their daycare center.
Yes.
So I think it goes all the way through high school, actually.
It does. It goes pretty high up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but to be able to drop your kid off and go to work
and know that they're cared for
with nursing cares
properly.
And the physicians come down and the physical therapist and the occupational therapist. It's truly an incredible place. And they do so much more than that too. They help with adoption services.
Yes.
They have this whole vision therapy.
I mean,
that alone.
World leader.
I know.
I mean, in
right
the
in
backyard.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
It's amazing. And, you know, we're incredibly fortunate with Michael's diagnosis of Lennox-Gastaut syndrome with LGS. There are a lot of medically complex kids who have LGS, who have feeding tubes and different things. We are incredibly fortunate that Michael is so healthy and well off with that. But I have seen many of people that have had to go through that. And when you do have a child who has complex needs, you all of a sudden have to become this like nurse, this home caretaker. And I mean, mine is such like a minimal level, but I remember when Michael was about 15 to 18 month range when he was first diagnosed and came home, and we had all these medications we had to give him. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like, and I was just like, I'll never forget the one nurse was like, put the medicine and shoot it towards the side of his mouth, not straight back into his throat, because that's going to make him gag. And then he'll be more likely to do this. And like, you're never going to know that until somebody teaches you. And I just think about, my heart goes out to these people that I only had to do a syringe of mouth, oral medication. There are people that have to change trachs and change feeding tubes. And I can't even imagine. You're already going through so much with this diagnosis with your child that's already draining enough. And then you just get this like medical like drain. Like, you're just like, I don't even know what to ask anymore. I don't even know where to go. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I vividly remember being discharged from the hospital with Graham, who was a completely full-term healthy baby. I was a pediatric nurse practitioner. Right. I mean, if anybody's capable to take care of this baby, it would be me. Right. And still feeling so overwhelmed. And that is a healthy baby. Right. I mean, put any other medical complexity in the mix. Yeah. I really can't imagine. I mean, what these families go through. So to have a place like Children's Home is beyond incredible. And I shouldn't say that. Many people don't know about them. And myself included, when they first apply to be a beneficiary, I associate them with Children's Hospital.
I think many people do.
Which is also amazing. And I'm not discounting them by any means, but they are completely financially separate from them. And they don't have the funding that Children's Hospital does.
And I think that is a big important message that I think, needs to get across, because you do have like the children's mentality in Pittsburgh, because children's, UPMC, like everything everywhere. But yes, they are completely separate. They are completely different. I think there was at one point in time a little bit of a carryover, but still, they were still completely separate agencies and they've been here for hundreds of years.
Yeah, and I think they recently told us on our tour they provide between $3 to $4 million of care. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like annually.
That they cover.
Yeah.
Charitable care. Yes. So, I mean, the amount of funding that they need to function is so much.
Yeah. And then, folks like you guys at 412 Give Back step in and just knock it out of the park. Like, we
hope so.
So successful. Tell us a little bit about your events. I did get to go into Stock.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came.
So fun.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
It was a beautiful event. You ladies know what you're doing when you plan.
Well, so my background's the medical philanthropy side, and Billy, my partner, is the catering. I mean, she's always just had like a knack for like, a little birthday party turns into a whole thing. Right. That's not me. Yeah. So we work really well together as a team. Yeah. And we have a whole team of, we have 9 other women on our committee that, are amazing. Yeah. But so we had Stock the Cellar. Lemonade Stand is coming up. It's actually, the kickoff is June 15th. Okay. And in the past, we've just had like one day. Yeah. But we found that people were discouraged if they couldn't do that day. I mean, summer schedules are impossible as is. So this year, it's the whole summer.
That's amazing.
And we have an all new platform. So anyone can sign up for their own page, which I think is going to be really cool, because in the past we've had like, 5 stands in one day and everyone's like, oh, what did we make? What did we make? And I was like, I don't know, collectively you all made this. But this way, every single stand will have their own page. They'll get to know how much they make, and they'll have their own number where they can like text 412 Lemonade 5 to a number, and share it with their network.
That's so awesome.
So, I mean, it has potential to be huge. Like I said, our goal is $25,000.
That's amazing.
But I do encourage everyone, whether it's a baseball team, a scout team, a neighborhood, even just you and your one child could do it. And, some stands bring in like thousands of dollars, but some stands bring in 10. Yeah. And that's okay. Together, collectively, we made over 18,000 last year. Yeah. So, and that's what I love about it, that it's like your little, $1, $5 donation is going to be huge when you put it all together.
It's going to make a big difference.
So yeah, that's all. We encourage anyone and everyone to sign up.
Yeah. Where can they sign up?
They can sign up on our website.
Okay.
So it's www.412givesback.org.
Okay.
If you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, there'll be links. Specifically in Instagram, there's like a little link tree in our bio.
Perfect.
There'll be a sign up there, and we're gonna start. I hope everybody follows us. We're gonna start posting a lot, so just follow one of those stories, click on the link, so you can either just donate through that or you can sign up for your own stand. So that's gonna be fun all summer long, and we'll give you all the verbiage and material you need to make sure that you can explain who you're raising money for. That's this summer. And then we have our gala January 30th, 2027. We outgrew our old space. So we were at the Omni last year, which was beautiful, but we were maxed out. So this year we're moving to the Westin.
Wow.
And we keep upping the number. We're expecting, I would say, between 550 and 600.
Wow.
So it's big.
Now, sold out.
Last year sold out in less than 20 minutes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, that the gala, so the theme is a glacial affair. You got a taste of it at Stock the Cellar.
Yes, beautiful.
Ice
carving.
Yes, ice carving. We have a great ice sponsor who's going to have, instead of flowers, there will be flowers, but there'll be ice centerpieces.
So
and
cool.
we have the Mendelssohn Choir performing, which, they perform at Heinz Hall. They're incredible.
Yes.
Texture Contemporary Ballet will be performing. They performed last year. We have UPIC Entertainment, which is, I think they're like a 12 or 13 piece band.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Every year we have an internal goal, not only to top, what we make for the year, but just to top the experience. We really try to make this like an immersive event.
Yeah.
And we know there are, especially, this time of year, there are galas twice a week, 3 times a weekend. Like, there's lots of organizations to support. So we really try to make this super special.
Yeah.
And I've been told by people that this is the one event they don't have to like drag their spouse to. It's actually fun.
Yeah. I haven't had the privilege of being at one yet. I'm hoping to make it sometime in the near future.
Yeah.
But 4 kids and chaos.
It's a lot.
But I live vicariously through social media, and the videos and photos and everything, I have never heard one bad thing about a 412 Gives Back event gala. It is, this is like Hollywood stuff, man.
Gosh.
Like, I think the one year you had people like on stilts or something.
We did have flamingos on stilts. Yeah.
Amazing.
We had the Pittsburgh Opera this past year for our Europe theme. The one negative thing I will say is that I think people were too busy dancing and having fun last year that they forgot to bid on the silent auction. So we're going to change things up. We're having an all new live auction, and silent auction might close a little earlier before people really get into the party. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. So, hopefully we sell out in 20 minutes this year. I don't know how it will be because our venue's bigger.
So when are you releasing tickets? Do you guys have a date yet? Should we put a save the date somewhere for folks? Or what's going on?
Tickets will be released in the fall.
Okay.
Probably in October. I don't have the exact date yet.
Okay.
However, we are accepting sponsorships now.
There you go.
So if you have a business, we do personal sponsorships anyway. If you just want early tickets, it's a great way for businesses to showcase, we have a big audience of lots of leaders within the Pittsburgh community, as well as just, if your family just wants to sponsor, lots of opportunities, lots of levels.
And make a difference in so many lives for people, because this is all, ultimately goes back to the children's home this year.
Exactly.
And these organizations that you support. So
yeah. And one thing I want to mention, we require our beneficiaries to sign an agreement that everything that we give to them goes directly to their programming and their population. So although admin expenses are very important, as I know, we are not raising money for their administrative costs. So it's going, so when we tell, people who are interested in getting involved, it's like, if you donate through 412 Gives Back, it's going directly to their population.
That's so important. And I remember, kind of circling back with, when I came up with this idea for the Michael Mackey Project and starting a nonprofit, I was like, I actually know some people that just did this. And I remember meeting you and Billy at Starbucks.
Yes.
And I'm like, how do you do this? Like, how do you do that? And like, you were both so gracious to kind of walk me through.
I hope we were helpful.
You were very helpful. And it gave me an idea, and I got to run with it and Now we're a little over a year with the Michael Mackie Project.
Which is amazing what you've done.
Talking about that, it has to go to programming. That was a big thing when we founded our organization, when I founded this, because I don't want overhead. It's all volunteer. My board's all volunteer. I'm volunteering. Every single cent that comes to us goes into adaptive programming and goes into that, because that is such an important thing. Like you want to make sure that you're providing, for the people there. So I give you guys a lot of credit that you put that out there for your organizations that you support.
It is so important. And we figured we're volunteers. I mean, nobody who volunteers for 412 Gives Back gets paid. Same with our board, our committee, and Billy and myself. So, if we are volunteering our time, we just want to make sure that that's going directly to the people who need the help.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's that model just has seemed to work well, and hopefully our committee stays with us, and we're always looking for people if they want to get involved. There's lots of opportunities to help.
That's wonderful.
Whether
where can folks go? Because I think there are so many people in our community here locally that want to get involved and want to help organizations. I see that on the Michael Mackie Project side as well, that are like, how can I help? How can I volunteer? What do you need? What can I do?
Yeah.
So are there things that people can do to get involved with 412 Gives Back?
Yeah. I'm so glad you asked that question. There's lots of ways to get involved. One, like we talked about, lemonade stand. That's probably like the simplest, easiest thing. If, you're looking for something to do on a random day with your kids. Yeah. Start a lemonade stand. Yep. That collectively is going to make a huge difference and teach our kids that such important lesson of giving back. We right now, as I mentioned, we're soliciting items for our silent and live auction. This is the first year we're doing a live auction. So we're hoping to we already have some really cool things. We got a Costa Rica trip. Among others. But we're going to have probably like 5 to 7 live auction items, and then probably around 50 silent auctions. So if you are a business owner, or you have, even access to like a timeshare or something like that, we're always looking for donations. Great. Restaurants, fitness classes, golf. I mean, you name it. Yeah. We get creative with what we put together. Volunteering at events. This year is going to require a lot of volunteers. So, if that's something you're interested in, the Junior League of Pittsburgh sent a lot of volunteers to our last gala, and they're hopefully going to send some. And like I said, we have some Pine Richland High School students, but we're always looking for strong volunteers who, just want to be a part of it, but maybe not necessarily attend. Yeah. And then just if you want to get involved with some of the behind the scenes work, feel free to reach out. You can email info@412givesback.org. That will go to me. Or if you email Amy at 412givesback.org, that will go to me as well. Perfect. Or, send us a DM on Instagram or LinkedIn or any of that. There's
so much like that, anybody can do to get involved. And I think that what you're doing and what the community is doing just goes to show you how much people care, and building that, from a motherhood journey of you moving here, finding your community, finding your people, has transformed into such an amazing experience, I think, for you, your family, your friends. You deserve a lot of recognition. I know that's not why you guys do this, but I think it just goes to show you that the idea that ordinary families can create such an extraordinary community. I mean, you guys are living proof of that. So
that's very kind. And I do want to mention, really, not everyone, but most of the people on our committee, on our 412 Gives Back committee, we all met through that Mom's Club. Yeah. So you're right. I think right now we're all mothers. Yeah. Most of us are not working, but there's a few that still work full-time. One works full-time, one works part-time. But it's like we've had these skills that we've been sitting on, being moms, and finally having a chance to put them back to use for something good. So it's amazing what moms can do when they get together. It really is.
You get an idea. There's nobody, don't get in the way of a mother when she has an idea, because it's just going to happen. They're going to make it work. Yeah. Amy, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun. This wasn't as scary as I thought it was.
Good. I'm glad.
A little scary.
Super easy. Super easy. Well, thank you for joining us. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe, follow on all the things. Check out our website at longdaysbiglove.com. Make sure that you check out 412 Gives Back and the Michael Mackie Project as well. Check out the Children's Home in Pittsburgh. These are all amazing places, and we hope you'll join us next time.